Welcome back to Keys Prop On. I know it's been a while. I had a little vacation there, but we're back. On today, we'll be looking for some props that we can hit on. Let's get into it. So starting out here, we got a smaller slate today, 10 games. We'll look at the left-hand side first. Let's look into Barnett here. Really struggles with lefties, 270 to 214 batting average to righties. Some power to both sides, though, we'll note. Got shelled by Tampa Bay, shelled by Cincinnati, shelled by Boston as well. I went 3 1/3 against Minnesota, and then 4 innings against Houston there. Throws his four seamer for the most part. His secondaries are getting hit too, being this curveball, the slider, more so for power there. We'll grab this four seamer, the curveball, and then we'll grab the slider since it's over 15% there. So you got Calgalone here, 375 weighted OBA. Rave, not bad, but small sample size for him. Collins doesn't look too bad, or Isbell there either. Zone contact, Rave looks pretty good. Calgalone, you just got to worry about the K sometimes, but he has been hot as of late. I will note that he was just on a hitting streak and that snapped yesterday. So he's about mid against the curveball and the slider, the four seamer. He really hits, which Barnett's throwing about almost 50% of the time there. So that's not bad. Jensen and Massey don't look too good here. Massey looks good against the secondaries, but the four seamer he doesn't. He's getting 95 on the four seamer. Not bad. And Jensen doesn't look good against anything there. Okay. Then power wise, I'd assume it's Cagalone. So 5 homers there for Massey, 9 for Cagalone, 6 for Jensen. Not bad. 572 estimated weighted OBA. I feel like Barnett can give it up here. I do like Cagalone here for a hit. I will say that much. I do like him for a hit against his pitch mix. Let me see where he's locating this four seamer. So he's really more so everywhere, but he's trying to go top of the zone there. That's getting hit too. Ability to go oppo. So I really like that for him. Cackle on there. 500 there. Does he have any oppo home runs? He has 2. Okay, I do like that. This curveball. He's barely throwing this, but take a look at it. So Jensen looks the best there. I do like that Cackle's not king though. I do feel like Barnett can give it up here. They're both. I was about to say that Kansas City's coming from the West Coast, so you have to deal with that travel. But as are the Athletics, um, 3 homers in his last 2 games for, well, 6 homers. Sorry, 3 games, 3 homers in each game for Barnett here. His four seamer is really getting hit. Witt's not bad here either. I expect their offense to come from Witt and Cagalone here. The sweeper gets, he's giving up power to this four seam, but the sweeper's getting hit for our average here for sure. Let me do that. 263 for whip. Yeah, I'll stick to their best two really in my eyes as far as batters being Witt and Calgalone. I like them both for a hit there. Sugiyano. So 2 homers. He's given up a homer in his last 5 games. 2+ in 3 of them. Went 6 against Arizona, so 2 earned over 6 innings. That's not bad at all. There must have been 2 solo shots there. 3 earned in 5 innings against Tampa Bay. 6 2/3 against Kansas City. 5 1/3 against Milwaukee. 6 1/3 against Cincinnati. So not horrible here for Sugiyano. I feel like the long ball's a problem for him. It always will be really. He doesn't really have any swing and miss stuff, but he's eating some innings there for sure. Let's look here. 269 to lefties, 264 to righties, 387 weighted OBE to lefties, 588 slug. We'll look at lefties for this Los Angeles lineup. So let's see here. The splitter for the most part, some four seam thrown in there. Is missing bats with that splitter. The sinker is getting hit barely. Any whiffs with that. And then the cutter a little bit there too. A lot of pitches he's throwing here. I will say, take the top 4 over 10% at least. Freeman not bad. Ohtani not bad. Muncy not bad either. I feel like Muncy has been one of their best hitters as of late. I mean, Ohtani still does his thing. He always does. But Muncy's been pretty good, I feel like. I don't know who. Oh, he's a catcher. I don't know how to say his last name though, right there. Fiducia or something like that. Fiducia. Okay. I haven't seen Freeman's name here in a while though. I will say I have not seen anything about Freddie in a while, and I'm sure he's still getting hits, but I just haven't seen him. And then you got 12 homers there for Muncy, 10 for Freeman, 9 for Ohtani, 7 on that four-seamer alone for Muncy, 536 estimated WOBA to that four-seam though, so that's good. And then the cutter, 4 homers there, in which Muncy's hitting that too. Honestly, I know they're going to have Ohtani chalk price here. I think he has multiple home runs against Sugiyano. So I kind of want to go Muncy here for a homer. You can take him for a hit. Ohtani's still in play. He has like 3 homers against Sugiyano, and especially in Colorado. He should be able to get it done there. But I'll say if you want to get away from that chalk price, I'll take Muncy here for a homer. And then I like both of them, being Ohtani and Muncy for hits here against Sugiyano. And then moving forward to Castillo. He's facing the Cubs. Really struggles with lefties. He's going to see a couple today. He pitched well against Cincy. I will give him that, but Cincy really isn't that good at all. You got Boston that he got shelled against. Dodgers shelled him. Cincinnati, when he went 7 against them before too, and then 5 innings against Tampa Bay. He's given up home runs in his last 4 out of 5. Some barrel too. And then you got a four-seamer here at 46%. You got a slider at 24%. A changeup at 19%. And then a little bit of a sinker Sorry, let me check something. So you got the four-seamer. Hold up. Let me grab this four-seamer. 13% swing and strike. So he is missing bats with it. I did see PCA finally did something yesterday too. It's been a while for him. Top of the zone there. I do like the whip and the K there for Bush. It's pretty good. Martinez, not bad. Small sample size. Some homers there for Hab. Some homers there for PCA. Bush has a couple. The estimated weighted OEA doesn't agree with it. Not bad. Yeah, a few homers there for each of them. Nothing really there, but a homer there, 3 there. Maybe take that one off. Try to get up and in on them. See if they can handle that, which they all have. And then you got this slider, which is giving up power to that too. Okay. Really giving up power everywhere. Two homers there for PCA. They're more than likely going to have him chalk price just because Castillo struggles with lefties. I don't know if I would pay it, honestly. He did have a homer yesterday, though. So I'm not saying that he can't by any means. He was playing, close to MVP level prior to like the last, like, I want to say week and a half or 2 weeks. So he definitely can there. And then let me see this. Just see the slider overall. Mm. He got 6 extra base hits against this changeup. I don't want to go with PCA. I mean, at home, he really didn't do anything last series. Outside of that home run in the final game yesterday, you could see some fireworks from him here against Castillo. I don't think Castillo has the same performance he did against Cincy. So I'll say PCA for a hit here. Possible for a homer. If you want to get away from him, someone that quietly I feel like had like homers for them at random times is Bush right here, 295 against his pitch mix in the last 30. I would say if you're trying to get away from the chalk price of PCA, Bush should be good for it here. And then Louder, hold on, my bad. I clicked on the wrong person. Louder here, in which he struggles with lefties quite a bit. Batting average wise is pretty even on both sides, but power wise is to lefties. I'm more so attacking this for Burleson. I feel like he's been good all year, but he's had, I want to say, 3 homers in the last 2 games. Facing somebody that struggles with lefties should be in a good spot here. I'm sure he has history against Louder at some point in time. So 368 against the top 3. We can go 4 since he does use a slider a little bit there. So 355 against it all, 259 against the slider. Not bad. The K in the whiff always looks good for Burleson. I do like him here for a hit. We can look the power side. The slider is more so what he's given up for power. 13 home runs against this pitch mix on the year. Oh, sorry, let me check something. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so I'll take Burleson there for a hit, and then I also like him there for power, 3 homers against a slider too. Um, you see the sinker, he's struggling with power, 2 homers against that. I'm sure he has history against Louder. I think I took him in St. Louis against Louder, and he didn't do it. I think he got a double there. I'm almost certain he did. So I'll take him there in Cincinnati, more of a hitter's ballpark than St. Louis. And let's go to Brott here. I'll probably look at him from the right-hand side, but he has given up some power to lefties, though, so you can look at that too. Um, so you got 4 homers here for Abreu, 289 for Abreu. I know he hasn't seen this slurve much. There's no way. Yeah, but the sinker and the four-seamer, I'm sure they've seen it. So 304 for him, 289 for Dern. Not bad there. I do like the slug for Abreu. 4 homers against this sinker and this four-seamer, in which he's given up two to those. And so you got barrel of 12%, a home run fly ball of 26%, 10 extra base hits here for Abreu. So I do like this for Abreu. Normally, I feel like I wouldn't attack him with a lefty on the mound. However, he does hit for power. I think Boston is returning home here from a road trip. So I'll say Abreu's in play for a homer there. That's not bad. And then lefties are hitting a little bit better. I mean, smaller sample size, but 263. The slug is really there for lefties too. So yeah, I like Abreu for a hit here, but you can pick him to go yard there. And then I will look at the right side here, in which Wilson looks really good, as does Jahmai Jones. He's more of a platoon guy there. You got the four-seamer at 44%, and then a slider at 14%. I'll add in the slurve, but you don't normally see a slurve at all. You got 304 here for Wilson, 436 weighted OBA, so I do like that. They got a couple righties in here that's been hitting lefties. And then I don't know if Rushman's made his debut for them yet, but if he's in the lineup, he can hit lefties too. I do like Wilson here for power as well. 31% pull air, 20% barrel, 37% fly ball, 5 home runs, 9 extra base hits, 531 estimated WOBA. Wilson's definitely in play for a homer here against Brock. There's small sample size with the lefties there, but normally I do attack lefties with righties, and so I will say that I'll go Wilson there from the right hand side, and then Jahmai Jones is somebody that's a platoon guy, so he should be in there too. This more so this four-seamer now. I'm looking at this, and you got 1 home run there for Wilson. I would like that to be a little higher. And then, as I mentioned, Jahmai Jones normally hits lefties. And then from the left-hand side, I'm cool on Gombo. I don't really know who that is. I'll go Junk here, facing Philly, in Philly. Could struggle here. You got I believe Harper's went yard against him before. He has a changeup in which he can induce some whiffs there, in which Stott looks good on there. Harper looks about mid. Um, Arraez isn't missing it, but he also isn't hitting it at all. I feel like I've visited that so many times with him. But the changeup is getting hit though, so I do like that. Harper has a 293 batting average, 358 Woba, and then you got Schwarber with 446 there. Some power there for him too. So I'll grab those three, being the four-seamer, changeup, and slider, in which Harper looks the best here. 280 for Stott, 294 for Marsh, Arraez 288. And then he does not look good against that slider, though, I will say, for Harper, 194, 374 weighted OBA. And then sorry, just checking my notes. Okay. Doesn't look bad there. I feel like Harper hasn't homered in some time. Schwarber just did in that game that they had in the cornfields with Minnesota. He was due for that, but I feel like Harper's due here. 16% barrel, 50% hard hit rate. The fly ball could be better there, but 13 homers, 25 extra base hits, 541 estimated WOBA, the best out of all of them. So I don't mind this. 609 in the last 32, 24 at bats, so it's a smaller sample size for him there. But yeah, I'll go Harper hit here, and then Harper possible um, home run shot there. I feel like John gives it up to lefties, and Harper's one lefty out of that lineup that I feel like is due, so he could go yard there. And then he does give up some power to righties, not as much as lefties at all. Um, I'd look at this four-seam and sweeper. I won't go too deep into it because I really don't trust their righties. But I mean, Turner and Baum's been pretty hot as of late. He just homered yesterday and then went 5 for 5 in the game before that. So that's notable for him. But outside of that, I mean, it doesn't look too good there. I'll probably leave it alone there. And then you got Bueller here against the Mets in New York. He gives up more power to righties, 280 to lefties. So we can look at both sides with New York here. I do like their lefties though. You got Lindor, Benj, Ewing, Beatty. Young's pretty good too. Polyanko hasn't done anything this year at all. Let's look hits first, in which he's not missing bats with this four-seamer at all. Benj and Young look pretty good there. Not so good for Lindor. Lindor's looked good as of late on the second half of the season though. I will note that for him. Benj and Young look really good there. The rest look about mid, and Polyanko doesn't look good at all. 343 for Benj in the last 30. And then, as I mentioned, Lindor has started to look good in the last half of the season. And so I don't mind Benj here for a hit, to be honest. Doesn't look bad there at all. He should be batting 4 or 5. Yeah, I don't mind him at all. Um, for a hit here. How many homers does he have against this last 30? He has 2, but the estimated WOBA doesn't agree. 33% hard hit rate. Lindor doesn't look bad there at all. And then Lindor doesn't look bad on the season at all. Mm, probably stick binge hit there. So if you want to go Lindor there for a hit too, you can. And then from the right side, I said he gave up power a little bit to righties. Yeah, slightly to righties. Which Simeon doesn't look bad here at all. 10 homers, 17 extra base hits. The power is going to this four-seamer. All this secondary stuff, his main stuff up there is not really getting hit. So let me look at this slider. I guess a sweeper, but it's not much there. So Simeon doesn't look good against the slider, but he does against that four-seamer. Like real good there. Alvarez looks pretty good against both. I feel like Alvarez has cooled off a little bit there. He was hot for a little bit. Depending on where they have him in the lineup, I would say Alvarez is in play there for a homer, but I'll go Simeon there for a homer against Buehler. And then let's look at over. So average wise to righties, power wise to lefties, some homers there to righties though. And change up, he's getting whiffs on these pitches, but they're just getting hit too. The sweeper he's really missing bats with though. So what is this? Change up in the four-seamer, which none of them really look good at all. Sheesh. What's this one? I'll grab all three. All four, I mean. Dang. I didn't expect Acuna to look like that. Really? Really? I did not expect Acuna to look like this at all. That does not look good. I was gonna lean Acuna there for a homer, but it doesn't look too good at all. And then let's look at the lefties real quick. So this changeup, he's getting in trouble with. The four-seamer, he's getting in trouble with. Seems like he's getting unlucky with his four-seamer though. 331 estimated WOBA compared to a 431 on this changeup. Olsen looks pretty good there. Albies looks pretty good. The fly ball isn't there for Harris. Let's look hits wise. 294 there for Baldwin, not bad. 194 batting average there for Olsen. So Olsen may just be a power play here. He did just go yard yesterday. Someone who I feel like is due was Baldwin. Baldwin hasn't hit for power in a while now. Over somebody that you can do it against too, though. You can go Olsen, to go back to back here. I'm sure they have his odds, fairly low. 16 across the four-seamer, changeup and slider for Olsen. He's giving up a lot of fly balls. That's the issue. Yes, I mean, if you want to play the chalk price with Olsen, I understand that. He's been hitting homers all year, to be honest. But if you don't want to pay that, I would say I'd probably go Baldwin there. to go yard. Yeah. I wanted to take Okuna so bad, but I didn't know that he looked that bad on that pitch mix. But Olsen's definitely in play there. I'm not gonna pick like he's not in play. Okay. Couple more here. Let's look at Valdez. Going righty. 11 homers to righties. So really the sinker is getting put in play. The curveball he's missing bats with. The changeup somewhat missing bats with, but it's getting hit hard. You got a couple righties in this lineup that could get to him. Valdez, Reynolds, Magum, Trillo, Nick Gonzalez. Um, so he really pitches the contact. The sinker really 480 for Reynolds there. 692 for Nick Gonzalez. Some power there for sure for Valdez on a short sample size. Magum looks pretty good there too. Slick power. So a couple extra base hits there for Reynolds, 2 extra base hits, 1 homer for Valdez. Not bad here. I love the estimated Wobas for them all. 5 homers on that sinker too. He is missing bats with this curveball, so we'll take note of that. You do have some Ks here for them. So I mean, if he has that curveball going, you know, and do some whiffs, may get some strikeouts there, but I'm not necessarily worried about that. Change up mid for Reynolds and Gonzalez. Magum looks pretty good there. Valdez doesn't look too good on that end. 1 homer there for Reynolds. 1 for Flores there. Valdez has an extra base hit. I feel like Valdez at some point is due for a homer. He was hot there. Has started to put the bat to the ball as of late too. This is very small sample size I'm looking at here. Reynolds has the most against this pitch mix though. He has to change up against the sinker, against the curveball. Um, I would say I like both of. I like Valdez. I like Reynolds for a hit. I like um Magum. No, I like Gonzalez there, Nick Gonzalez there for a hit. Homer wise, the Flores kid has come in and start hitting homers for them. But I do feel like Valdez is due here for a homer. But at the same time, you also can go the Reynolds route. I don't like the fly ball rate, but he does have a homer against each one of these pitches. So he could possibly do it here too. 9 extra base hits for him. I feel like the top of that lineup could get to Valdez there. Cleveland got to him, and Cleveland doesn't get to lefties at all. Good game against Seattle. Athletics, good game there. Good game. Kansas City's not good, and then the Cubs showed them. So Pittsburgh could get to him at home there. And then I keep looking from the left-hand side. Who else was there? I do feel like Perez here can get hit up. I don't buy it with him. Good game against the Mets. You know, you got that. Went 3 innings against Miami, and then pitched well against Washington. All those at home, and then got shelved by the Mets at the end of July there. I'm going righty on righty. I normally do with the lefty. So let's look hits wise first here. Not missing bats with this cutter or the sinker, but the sinker is not, he's not getting trouble with that sinker at all. I do like Jeffers there. I do like what Lewis looks like there too. Both of their whiff and K are low. Got some power there as well. 3 homers there for Lewis, 1 for Jeffers. And then he is missing bats with this changeup, so I will look there, see what they're doing. Jeffers looks pretty good there. Lewis not so good. Where's he? Yeah, he's right there. I would say I'd probably go Jeffers there for a hit against Perez. And then I know Lewis didn't look too good against that changeup, but that is Perez's #1 pitch there. So he's more than likely going to do some whiffs if you don't want to risk the K there. Then I understand that, but I do like Lewis there for a hit. I more so like him on the power side. The changeup he has given up some homers on this changeup, not so much this sinker, but I'm gonna attack this cutter. He's giving up fly ball, and it's a 45% hard hit rate there. Nothing for which one was he hitting then? I feel like he was hitting one of these, being Lewis. So he's hitting that sinker. Yeah, he's not really giving up fly balls to that. That cutter he hasn't hit yet. More so a feeling thing. I don't want to go with Buxton. They're gonna have Buxton at chalk price against Perez here, and I'm not paying it with him. So 20% barrel for Lewis, 23% pull air, 46% hard hit rate. Don't really like the fly ball, but I really don't like the fly ball with any of them here. And so 7 extra base hits and 3 homers. More so on that sinker, but 2 extra base hits and 1 extra base hit against that cutter too. So I do like that. So if I didn't mention, my bad. I like Lewis for a homer there against Perez. I think that may be it on today. Yeah, I think that's it. As always, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. If you have any questions with the platform, please drop it in the comments below. And if you can, please like and subscribe. Hope you guys have a great day. See you guys.